everyone, this is Melissa, and I'm the talkative introvert.
Let's like start recording, because I literally did an episode with Shannon, and I was like, "Hey, how are you?"
Oh, is that what this is?
Kind of.
Okay.
I don't know.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good.
Yeah?
Thanks. Yeah.
What's new? Any big plans coming up?
Nothing I can say on the podcast.
I'm just kidding. You cut that out.
It's okay. Oh, look at that.
I know. I love watching the sound waves. It's hella funny.
Because it's like, it's pretty even, and then it just gets super loud, and then it's even again.
Love it.
Jeez. But anyway, so today there's a specific subject you wanted to talk about, which was, what is it called again?
Emotional energy.
Emotional energy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so I didn't understand what that was. I was like, yeah, sure, let's do that. So, like, can you explain what emotional energy?
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Well, based on the 4 TikToks that I've watched about it, my understanding is that emotional energy is it's the way I was understanding is that it's like a limited amount of emotion that you have on a daily basis. And the way that this one person explained it is they call it fuck bucks. So you only have a certain amount of fucks to give a day, right?
Yeah.
So every day, let's say you get like 100 fuck bucks, and it doesn't roll over to the next day, is what they were explaining. And once you run out of those 100 fuck bucks, then your emotional energy is depleted.
Yeah.
And then there are certain things that take like more fuck bucks than other things. Like, for example, caring about what other people think, or dwelling on the past, or trying to like obsess over the future and like what's going to happen in the future. Or what were the other things? I can't even remember now.
Living up to other people's expectations. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what the other stuff is. Well, you already said most of it.
There were 5 things, and I think we listed 4, so we're missing one, but that's okay. But as I'm thinking about it now, I think that it's kind of comes with age. Like, you're just like
like you have less as you get older, or you have, what do you mean?
Like, it comes with age, like learning not to give your emotional energy to shit that doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
So like not caring about what other people think.
Yeah.
Like, cause like when I was in high school and like college, like other people's opinions, like it was an obsessive thought to me. And like, I cared so much what other people thought. Like, how are they going to think about like what I look, how I talk, like what like my opinion on things, like. But now, as I'm getting older, like, I just don't care. And it's great.
It's amazing
to not care.
Yeah. Because I feel like I was so stressed out in high school, and like even during college, and just like my early 20s. Like, I know I'm still in my 20s, but like as I'm nearing that 30-year mark, I'm just like caring less and less about other people's like opinions. Not caring about other people, but like caring about what they think. And you get to the point where you're kind of just tired of also just walking on eggshells around people and caring about like if they're gonna get mad at you or explode. And it's like, well, if they're gonna do that, then maybe those aren't the people you need to be around anyways. You know?
Totally.
Yeah. Like, my friends group has definitely gotten smaller.
Oh yeah. I heard a saying once, and it goes, I'd rather have 4 quarters than 100 pennies.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. And like,
that's a good point.
I've always been like that though. Like, I've never had like very many friends. I've always kept my friend circle very small, and like, yeah, I mean, like, look at us, like, we're still friends. And like, I can't imagine us not being friends. Like we're totally going to be those bitches in our 70s, like, wild now, you know? Yeah. Like, so yeah. Oh, another I think the last one that we were missing is to not take things personally.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one, too. I think I still struggle with that, though.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That is huge for me. Like, when I was younger, like, I could not take criticism at all. If anybody tried to, like, critique me in any way, even if it was, like, a positive thing, like, I would just get completely irrationally emotional and, like, cry sometimes, like in dance class. If my dance teacher was like, you need to turn out more, or, like, you know, you need to do this, or you need to jump higher, or you need to squeeze, or whatever, I would just be like, oh, I didn't do it perfect the first time, you know? And it's like, and I think, like, childhood trauma is a huge part of this, too. Like, because when I was a kid, my parents, like, they never told me that I ever did anything wrong. Like, I was literally the picture of perfection in my parents' eyes.
Yeah.
And, like, even to this day, like, my mom, like, she, you know, she's just so sweet and she's so supportive, and she's never, ever done anything that's, like, unkind or, like, which... Like, she's just always been very sugarcoating and, like, always provided, like, a very, very big cushion for me for when I fall, so to speak. And, like, my mom tried to ground me once when I was in high school, and then it literally lasted, like, a couple hours.
Jeez.
Yeah, like, and
I had a very different childhood.
Yes, and, like, and, you know, that's, like, my dad died when I was young, and, like, I think my mom felt a lot of guilt about that, and then plus she was struggling with her own mental illnesses and, like, trying to parent and blah, 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 so, but not to take things personally, and, like, I think in the last year, I have, like, I don't want to say grown out of that, but it just does not affect me.
Just gotten better. Yeah. I think it's the same for me. Like, it's gotten better, but I definitely struggle with that a lot. And it's, even though we pretty much kind of had, like, the opposite childhoods, like, I didn't get a lot of compliments, or, like, I didn't get a lot of that.
Like, positive reinforcement.
Yeah, like, verbally, you know? That's why, like, words of affirmation is pretty high for me, because I think I didn't have that as a kid, really. Totally. Yeah. And, but I took things personally because I didn't want to disappoint the other person, rather than, I guess it's, like, the opposite of you, but, like, our parents were on, like, the opposite spectrum, but it still made us have the same problem with taking things personal.
Like, similar results.
Yeah. So that's, I don't know. It's weird because it's like, what was I trying to say?
Positive reinforcement.
Like, there's a balance. Totally. Yeah. And the two extremes still make the same problem, but so you have to, like, kind of, as a parent, like, be in the middle. Totally. You know? Yeah.
Neutral.
Yeah.
And then how much do you think that, like, self-esteem and self-image and self-worth plays into taking things too personally?
Oh, I mean, I think it's a huge impact on your self-esteem.
Totally agree.
Because it's you know, like, you want to be better, or, you know, it's all about, like, how what am I trying to say? How do I explain that? Well, okay, so how would you answer that question? I'm trying to, like, wrap my head around it.
Yes. So, like, at the times where I was struggling the most when taking things too personally, that's when my self-esteem and my self-perception was at its very lowest.
Yeah.
And, like, for example, you know, when I was, like, in high school, I was very, very small compared to now. But I thought just the worst of my body, you know? And, like, yeah, and, like, I just would always compare myself, like, to other people.
Yeah.
And, like, I think kind of, like, growing up in the dance world, like, you just do that naturally. Like, you go to dance competitions and you're like, oh my God, that girl's dress fits so much better. Like, she looks so much better, like, because she's skinny or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And, like, you know, not to say that I was fat in high school or that I'm fat now, but it's just, like, you know,
you're harder on yourself
totally,
back then.
Totally.
Yeah.
And being hard on myself and having low self-esteem and like having low body image or poor body image really plays into and like feeds that taking shit too personally.
Yeah.
And so now when you connect all of that, like that stuff is so heavy. And then when you connect it to emotional energy,
yeah,
it's no wonder that my emotions were just so all over the place. But I think that's also just being a kid and like going through hormonal changes and stuff. But even like 5 years ago, like, yeah, like I think it was still kind of similar, like just took things way too personally. And like if my coworker said things in a different tone of, or like not my coworker, but like my boss, if she said something like in a certain tone of voice, I would just completely internalize and be like, oh my God, what does that mean? Did I do something wrong? Did I mess up? Like, did I make a mistake? Like, and that is just really draining. And it's like, the more I work on it and the more I learn to not be that way, to not take things personally and to not really put too much stock into like how people are saying things in their tone of voice, like the better. Yeah. Because it's just more free. And then you can give that emotional energy like back to yourself or put it into like positive things.
Yeah. And also like, because I was watching this Brene Brown thing, and she makes a comment about like the story I'm telling myself. So if your boss is having, you know, that tone of voice or like saying something negative to you, it may not be you. It could just be something they're going through. But in your head, you're like, oh my gosh, she hates me or I did something wrong. But really, it could be like she's having a bad day or she's just taking it out on you or whatever, you know? And so you have to like train your mind to remember like you don't know what the other person is thinking or feeling at the moment. And it could actually have nothing to do with you. You just were in the crossfire, unfortunately.
And furthermore, like, how does all of that, taking things too personally, this person talked to me in a certain tone of voice, I messed up, it has something to do with me. How does all of that relate to being self-centered and thinking that things are about you when they're really not?
Yeah.
Like, I can say confidently, like, when I was a younger person, high school, early 20s, I was very self-centered.
Yeah.
Because of that thought process, thinking, like, oh, like, I don't know. What am I trying to say?
No, I get that.
Do you know what I mean, though? Like,
yeah. Because I do think everyone has some level of narcissism.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, because you have to care about yourself and how you portray yourself. And everyone wants to be liked, even if they don't say they do. That's just human nature. That's just how it is. So
humans are pack animals.
Yeah.
And in order to be part of a pack, you have to be liked and welcomed, and like people have to want you there, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Totally. God, we sound so fucking smart right now.
So smart.
So smart. I didn't even go to college. But like, yeah. And what else was I going to say? I had something I was going to touch on, but
taking things personally. Well, okay, going back to like the fuck bucks, right? Mm-hmm. What if you depleted?
I love saying that. Just side note.
Okay,
fuck bucks.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense,
right?
Yeah,
when I saw that, it blew my mind.
Yeah, that was a good term. But so, what if you deplete yourself? Can you get it back that day, or is it once you get rid of it, that's it?
Well, the way that this person was explaining it, it's like, you know, you have 100 fuck bucks a day. And once you get through those 100 fuck bucks, then you're done for the day. But you also like take into account like everybody's different. Mm-hmm. And everybody has higher levels of emotional tolerance than others. Mine is very, very low.
So what's a regular day for you then? Like on a regular day, like say a work day, like a Monday or Tuesday or whatever, like, or do you start pretty high and then do you end really low, or do you still have a lot left Like
by the end of the day?
Yeah.
Definitely depends on like what happens during the day. If I have a very stressful day, then then I just come home feeling completely drained and exhausted and tired. And mind you, like I don't do any physical manual labor. I literally just sit in an office chair all day long. But I think dealing with like what I spend most of my fuck bucks on is other people's emotions. And
Finn.
Go on. Yes, I know. So what I spend most of my fuck bucks on are other people's energy and other people's emotions. And so that's definitely something I'm still working on, because like, why the fuck do I care if this person's in a bad mood and is being shitty to me?
Well, aren't you like people facing? So because you are front desk, aren't you? Or not anymore?
Not anymore, but I still deal with the public a lot.
Okay.
And like I deal with people in our organization who are very like high energy. Like as far as what I mean by that is like takes a lot of energy to work with them or to respond to them or to give them what they're asking for.
Okay.
Very demanding people are like the type of people that I work with. And so, yeah, like I think like, yeah, I don't know. I'm still learning to just not waste my fuck bucks on other people. And like another example of like wasting your fuck bucks or like giving away your emotional energy is like road rage and being in traffic and like somebody cuts you off and like almost causes an accident, or like that can take a lot of emotional energy. Yeah. And what a waste, right? Yeah. But I still find myself on certain days, like I'm just like, I get really mad sometimes at driving because I'm like, you people don't take this shit seriously. Like, you could really kill somebody. Yeah. But, like, at the same time, like, when I give that energy away to this random driver, like, they don't know. You know, they're not going to pick up on that energy. Like, and they wouldn't care either. Yeah. Even they're just going about their day. Exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, just trying to learn to live in a space that is emotionally... that is respective to my emotional energy. And like, I want to, is that Finn? No. Oh, I think it's music. Okay. Anyway, what was I saying? I don't know. That was really distracting. I want to I want to save my emotional energy for myself and like my friends and like my relationships and like, relationships. Who am I kidding? But like really for myself, you know, and just give that back to myself instead of like coming home at the end of the day and just feeling so exhausted that I literally don't do anything. Like I don't even have energy to make dinner. Yeah. Yeah. I get that. What's your day like? And like, how do you spend your fuck bucks?
I think it's pretty similar to you. Like I also work in an office and sit all day and like don't do anything really like labor intensive, but it's just the people. So my day depends on who I have to work with that day. Like there's specific people on my list that I have to like emotionally prepare to meet with them. So I'm in meetings constantly. Like I have days where I'm in back-to-back meetings, and it just really depends who I'm with because, oh man, there's just some people just like even, so my manager, we have one-on-ones. She has one-on-ones with all of her people on her team. And just randomly one day, she was like, so how are you doing? Like, how's everything? Like, how's your work? Like, is work okay? Like, do you want to do something new or are you okay? Nice. She's very like, tentative to her people. And I told her, I was like, the work itself is fine. Like the actual work that I do is easy. It's like, it's challenging. I like the work that I do. And I told her my real problem is the people I work with. Because we do have like, I mean, hopefully no one at work is listening, but there's certain people at work, it's like so frustrating to work with them.
And you know who you are. Just kidding.
And like, I don't want to be narcissistic or like have a big head about it, but sometimes I'm just like, how did you get so far in your career?
Totally.
Being this way.
I literally think about that all the time with people at my work.
And it's insane because like, I don't even have a degree in IT. You know, I studied family studies. This has nothing to do with like computers or like technology or project management. But these people have like masters. Some have PhDs. Some are just like,
PhDs, they have pretty huge dicks.
Yeah.
Just
flops. I'm glad we could still sync. But it's just like, it's frustrating. And they take a lot of my emotional or my fuck bucks because I have to work with them. So I don't want to like piss them off. But I also need to, like, I work a lot on how to phrase what I'm going to say. Ooh. Like sometimes I will like write it out. And then like send it to my manager. I was like, this does sound nice. Like if you were to read this about you, would you be okay with it? Because I'm trying to be not, you know, you got to work with these people. You got to like talk to them every week. Like you don't want to be on eggshells. Like there's some people at work who are just, they always butt heads and it takes up so much of their energy and they're irritable and they're like,
what a waste of emotional energy.
Yeah. And it's like, just, you guys just have to like learn how to work together.
Like, how old are we?
Oh my God. How old are we? Because like the office drama is insane sometimes. I'm like, I'm sorry. Are we 16?
Okay, talk about your office drama, and then I'm going to talk about my office drama.
Oh my God. It's just like, oh, did I tell you about the Christmas story? I must have told you.
Refresh my memory.
Okay, so Christmas is a big deal. Like it used to be, you know, pre-pandemic, we would like go, you know, all out Christmas decorations. Everyone dresses up for Christmas.
Like the different departments pick a theme, right?
Yeah, and like well, there's contests. Like you decorate in like this new project. We don't have a contest, but everyone decorates. And like even people who don't celebrate Christmas get really into it because it's just so much fun. To decorate the office because it looks like a winter wonderland and there's lights and all this crazy stuff. And
that does sound like fun.
Yeah. And then these two coworkers didn't see eye to eye on the Christmas theme. And and one of my coworkers, and she was like in my team, she sent out an email. She replied to an email, but didn't reply to the right person. And she replied to the person she was talking about.
Oh my God, now I remember this.
And she was like, why is so-and-so being so crazy about the Christmas decorations? And then I was on my way to work and because I used to have a company phone and it was just blowing up. And like, cause she's on my team, right? So I was the lead and there's the other lead. And my teammate was like, I'm so sorry. And I was like, oh geez, what do you mean I'm so sorry? Like I'm still driving. I'm on the freeway right now. Like I'll be there soon.
Oh my God.
And she's like, I'm just so sorry for what you're going to come into today. And it got so bad that the other person was like, I think we should bring this up to HR.
Oh my God.
And I was like, hold on, you know, because
let's just take a beat.
Yeah, let's just I paused for a second. I was like, hold on, let's really think about this. Because you don't bring in HR unless it's like a big deal.
Unless it's something that's HR related.
Yeah, because, you know, when you think, okay, for me, if you think HR is like sexual harassment or like, you know, like being abusive or like verbally abusive, like something crazy. But I'm not going to write
Finding porn on your work computer.
Yeah, you know. But I'm not gonna submit an HR form because two people couldn't agree on the Christmas theme. Like, I'm sorry, that is just not. That is a waste of their time. They're just gonna laugh at me.
And as somebody who works in HR, I can confirm that would be a waste of time.
Yeah, thank you. And so our director is like, okay, you guys need to sit down and apologize to each other.
Oh my God, like they're children.
Yeah. And I was like, what? These people are older than me, okay? One of them is ready. She's about ready to retire. That's like how much older she is than me. And I'm just like, what is happening? What? So, yeah, that's one of the office drama. I just like mind blown. I know. So on their motorcycle. Okay, tell me yours.
Okay, so here's my most recent office drama. And it's all about the office plants.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh my God. So there are two people who work in my department in an office, and they're like plant people. Great, good for you. Love that for you. And they literally had 12 plants in our office, just in like the front of our office, like where our reception area is.
Yeah.
And they didn't, like, they watered them, but other than that, they didn't take care of them. So then we started getting a gnat infestation.
Jeez.
And, like there would be times I would be talking on the phone and, like, they would fly into my mouth. Because there's just so many of them.
That's nasty.
And then, so then one of my managers got involved because, like, she was noticing the same issues as well. And she was like, just take these fucking plants and throw them in the garbage. Here, let's put them on the cart. And myself and my coworker were just like, okay, whoa, let's not do that. Like, hold on. And she's like, okay, well, at least just move them all to their desk. All 13 of them, or 12, or however many they were. And we're like, okay. And so we did that.
Wait, who is this, your manager? Or?
This was one of our managers who was telling us, well, for lack of a better term, manager.
Yeah.
Was telling us, first throw them away, and then my coworker and I were like, no, let's not do that. And then manager said, okay, well then just put all of them in their on their desks.
Yeah. Like
in the reception area, and then they can deal with it. And so we did that per manager's instructions. Yeah. And oh my God, the hellfire that was released upon us when they came in the next morning, they were so mad and they felt so disrespected because we had moved their office plans when several of us had already asked them, like, hey, can you please move these somewhere else because they're really bothersome to us.
Yeah.
So first, they weren't being respectful of, like, what we were asking.
Yeah.
Okay, I really sound like I'm playing into this office drama instead of just, like, commentating on it. But, okay, anyways, here we go. So first they weren't being respectful of us because we were like, hey, like, can you please move these? Like, they're very bothersome.
Like, you already asked them.
Yes, and then they felt disrespected by us because
you moved them.
And so then there were a couple instances where people would make comments like, oh, like, all the plants are up here. And they would literally be like, don't even get me started.
Oh my God.
And it's like, people, they're fucking plants.
Bring them home.
They're ugly plants. They don't even have flowers. They're fucking peace lilies.
Why don't they just bring them home?
Girl, I don't know. But 5 of them ended up in the cafeteria.
You're just, like, spreading them around.
All down the building.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So that's our office drama. And, like, I found it entertaining. So it was just fun for me to observe how petty these people are and, like, how upset they're really getting over these plants.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like, how do you give that much emotional energy to, like, being upset over office plants?
Yeah.
Or, here's another idea, get fake plants that don't even attract bugs. That's another option.
Or just not so many.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need that many in an office.
And take care of them. Like,
yeah. Like, if you're going to bring something in that requires care, that's like a living thing, You got to take responsibility of that.
Exactly.
People.
I know.
It's insane.
I don't think this really has anything to do with the topic at hand, but it's just a fun segment. What's the most recent office drama? You know, it'd be even more fun to talk about is what's the most recent family drama. But let's not go there.
Oh, no.
We'll talk about that off mic.
Yeah. We'll talk about that during lunch.
Oh, okay. So one thing. Oh, you got some piping hot tea to serve?
Yeah, later.
Ooh.
Okay.
I'm excited.
Go ahead.
Okay, so one thing, I remember now what I wanted to ask about. Okay, so narcissism, right?
Ooh, okay.
Okay, so it's kind of a thing now, and you see it a lot on social media of like, I'm a queen.
Oh, yeah.
I am amazing.
Self-love.
Mm-hmm. Like I am just amazing. You know what I mean? So they're like, and just having a lot of stock in yourself and like directing a lot of your emotional energy at yourself.
Yeah.
But then there's also like narcissism.
So like how much is too much?
Yeah. And it seems like that's a thin line, right?
Yeah.
Between like loving yourself and empowering yourself and like believing the best in yourself and like being a narcissist.
Yeah.
And I like low-key think I'm a narcissist. Because, like, I truly believe that there is nobody in this world who is worthy of me.
Yeah.
I believe that. Like, and I don't know, maybe I'm just, like, still riding high off of my recent divorce. But I'm just, like, I'm never going to find anybody, like, as far as, like, a relationship or a partner goes,
mm-hmm.
that's going to be, like, worthy of me. Because, like, I know what I bring to the table. And, like, you know, like...
Well, I think, I don't know if we want to go this, I can take this out if you want to, but I think it also stems from the fact that how much you were hurt during that relationship, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I think now you're really truly recognizing your self-worth and, like, who you are truly and, like, what you deserve,
mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
And so, I don't know if you want to call that narcissism, but I guess it's more like trauma, too. You know?
A response to trauma.
Yeah, a response to trauma.
Totally.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even really know, like, the true definition of what narcissism is or, like, the characteristics of narcissism.
Let's Google it. Okay, narcissism. How do you spell that? Narcissus.
Narcis.
Excessive interest in or admiration of oneself and one's physical appearance. So you're like obsessed with yourself?
Okay, but I can relate to that because I'm like, yes, like I am so beautiful. Like,
mm-hmm.
like when I look at myself in the mirror, I'm just like, my God, the Lord has blessed me like with an amazing body, an amazing face, like an amazing personality. Like I have it all. But like, so is that narcissism?
I don't know, because in a way, like you're pretty fortunate to be like that because not a lot of people feel that way about themselves.
That's why I feel like it's like narcissistic.
Yeah, I don't know.
But like, I'm not mad at
it.
But like, everybody strives for like that type of thinking.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I think it's narcissism if it gets in the way of like how you talk to people or like when you talk to people and, okay, so a good example is like, you say I got like a new job and it's a great job and it's like, I'm really proud of myself and I want to share that with you. And instead of you being happy for me and congratulating me, you're like, oh, but I got this job, or like, oh, but my life is, you know, I think that's when it starts to become negative narcissism.
Oh, you got this really amazing new job. Yeah, well, I have like fucking huge tits and a big old booty. So yeah. Like, what's up?
So I think that's when it's like bad, you know?
Which is like saying that, like I can't even imagine like thinking like that.
Yeah. I know people like that and I would consider them as like egotistical, like narcissists.
That's very competitive too. Like,
yeah. Like it's not a competition.
It's really not. The only person you're in competition with is
yourself.
That's right, bitch.
So I don't think it's negative. I think, at least for you, because you don't do that to like me or to like our friends where you're like, well, I'm better, or like I got this.
I hope I don't.
I don't think so.
I don't think you would be friends with me if I did.
No. I can't.
No.
But I mean, everyone's narcissistic.
To a degree.
Yeah.
And like, I guess what we're trying to say is like, that's not really a bad thing.
Yeah. It's just how you go about it. Mm-hmm. You know, like how you use your narcissism, I guess. Like, cause what was it? Oh, I was listening to another podcast and they were talking about how like basically all influencers, all YouTubers, all like public facing people are narcissists. And I was thinking like, that makes sense. Like the fact that I'm doing this podcast is narcissistic in a way because it's like, oh, I think that I'm worth listening to. Like you guys should listen to me. And that's like a, you know.
But that's necessary. Mm-hmm. Right?
What do you mean?
It's necessary to say, yes, I have these things I want to talk about and I think that they are worth listening to. And I think that other people will take something away from what I have to say, because you have to have that mentality if you're going to do a podcast, right?
Yeah.
Or else the podcast in question would not exist.
Yeah, exactly.
The limit does not exist.
So yeah, everyone has some level of narcissism, and I don't know. As long as you don't cross that line or it just becomes negative and you're just not
like putting other people down.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. So what were the other things? So it was taking things too personally. Oh, okay. Here's a good one. Let's talk about this. Dwelling on the past and obsessing too much over the future.
I do that.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. Which one? Past or future?
Both.
Okay.
I think the future just because I'm a planner.
Oh, sure.
You know.
Type A. Yeah. Would you say you're a type A person?
I'm for sure a type A. There's no doubt in my mind that I'm not a type A.
Oh, okay. So sidebar, I just wanted to tell you that because of you and like this podcast, one of the very first questions I ask people like on like dating apps and like when I'm trying to get to know them, do you consider yourself an introvert or an extrovert?
Do you really ask that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And it's
what do you get mostly?
Extrovert.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's just interesting to see, to hear different people's responses. Some people are like, I don't even know what that means. I know, right? Mm-hmm. And some people this one person, he was like, I'm an extroverted introvert. So he said, I can turn it on when I need to for like work and like in friend and group settings.
I get that.
But like behind closed doors when it's just me, like that's when like I like to just be by myself. And I was like, yes, I can relate to that.
Because I think that's so important if you're dating. Like my, MBTI says like I am compatible with some extroverted people, but I would die if I like was dating an extroverted person. I just don't like. The older I get, the more of a hermit crab I become, and I just can't handle it. Like I don't party.
I used to think that was a really negative thing to be like a hermit crab. That is my lifestyle now, and I literally have never been happier in my life.
Yeah, I love it.
Me too.
Like, I'm home a lot. Yeah,
me too. I absolutely love being just home, me and my dog, cuddling up on the couch, watching a movie, or like painting, or like reading, or cleaning, or cooking, or baking. Like, I just love being here in my little oasis. It's just such a blessing for me to have this.
Yeah. And I don't know. And it's good because you can enjoy your time. You're not reliant on other people's energy and reliant on other people to make you happy. Like you're able to make yourself happy. Yes. That's important.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the only place that happiness can come from, right?
Yeah. Within.
Yeah. Okay. So going back to dwelling on the past and the future. So you kind of obsess over the future to an extent because you're a planner.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm not really worried about the future. Mm-hmm. And the only reason why I dwell on the past is because I like myself now, like my personality now, and who I was in the past. Like, I was kind of a toxic person. I talk shit about people all the time, and
I still do that. Just kidding.
Well, I'm more like selective of what I talk about, you know? Like
now the people that we talk shit on, valid as fuck.
Yeah.
Justified. Because
before, like, I wasn't always overweight, you know? And I was, like, I don't say skinny, but I was at a healthy range at least.
Yeah.
And I remember people always talking about other people's bodies, like, man, that person let themselves go, like, stuff like that, you know?
Yeah.
But now that I'm older, I'm like, and? Like, I always just be like, well, they're probably just happy now. You know?
Yeah.
Or like, I try to make it more positive. Like, I try not to feed into it. Like, I actually say something now. But back then, and I only dwell on it because I'm like, man, the people I was around back then, or like, I hung out with back then, they just know, like, early 20s Mia, and not like now Mia, who's who's nicer, less bitchy, but
less irritable.
Yeah. So that's what I dwell on. And just like, I don't know. I guess like family stuff too, but I think that's hard to not dwell on sometimes.
Like childhood trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just like random stuff, like mainly like about my dad, because we didn't really have like the best relationship and all that.
Yeah.
So I still dwell on that, especially like when it's like nearing his death anniversary or his birthday.
Yeah.
I also think about that. And then he just like pops up every once in a while. Yeah. But I try not to dwell on that too much because there's nothing I can do about it.
Do you ever have dreams about your dad?
I do. Like, he visits me. But I don't like him because that's not who he was in real life.
Oh,
like, I have like, yeah, like, I have like really good dreams.
Perception of your dad, or like what you wanted your dad to be. I'm sorry if that's like taking it too far.
No, it's true. Like, I used to not like talking about my dad. But I'm not going to hide the fact, like, so I was telling my mom this actually not too long ago, because she was like saying like, well, how do you talk about your dad with other people when they ask you? Because I did have people ask me like, you know, did you miss your dad? Or do you miss your dad because he passed away a couple years ago?
And God, that's hard to think that was a couple years ago.
I know.
It feels like it just happened yesterday.
How many years has it been now? 2 years now? I think it's been 2 years now.
2019?
Yeah, it's 2021.
I thought he passed in like 2018, 2017.
2019.
So Cody and I were already married.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
But Mari and Mikey hadn't had Sophie yet, right?
Right.
Was she a pandemic baby? A 2020 baby? No, because
she was born in 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, so much shit happened that year. Okay,
it was a lot.
I digress.
No, it's like, because before I would just like lie to people like, yeah, or, you know, I mean, not that I don't miss, whatever. But I guess now, like, as I'm getting older and I do see a lot of my dad in myself.
Yeah.
And that's really what like made me realize how much, like, I'm just more accepting of who he is now because he was just never meant to be a dad. And so that's why I told my mom, I was like, you know, I used to just say, yeah, like I missed him. But now I just tell people, like, if they do ever ask me, it's just like, well, I didn't have the greatest relationship with him, but I'm not like mad at him anymore.
Yeah. Because
that's not the role he was supposed to play. He was never meant to be a dad. And that's okay because I don't want kids. And I think I got that from my dad, you know, not that he didn't want us or anything. Yeah. It's just like, some people are meant to be parents and some people aren't. That's just how it is.
And what is your mom's response to that?
She was like, that makes sense.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because, I mean, she knows, like, we didn't have, like, he doesn't have, like, the best relationship with his kids. It's not, you know, we weren't hiding it. It's pretty apparent.
Sure. Yeah.
But now I understand him now, like, as an adult, and I accept who he is. And unfortunately, he wasn't the dad like that you just see in TV shows. Like, he wasn't like, you know, always
maybe he wasn't
there
the parent
or whatever
that you needed.
Yeah. But I understand who he is, and I understand like why he is the way he is, and because I'm very similar to him, and I don't want kids. And
what other characteristics and traits do you guys share besides not wanting kids?
My dad's he's pretty type A too. Like he has a really good work ethic. That was like what he's really known for, and he excelled in every job that he took. Mm-hmm. At least that's what I heard. I don't know. I was really young. But I think we get that, and we're very like independent mm-hmm. and strong-willed. Like if we want something, we'll get it. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of that stuff, and also like
that's amazing.
Yeah, and probably a little bit the narcissism. My dad was pretty narcissistic.
And as we've already discussed, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I don't know why we started talking about this. Oh, because
dwelling on the past.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like thinking a lot about your dad and like the relationship that you guys had and the role that he played in your life. And,
So I do dwell on that a lot, but now I'm getting older. I understand who he is now, and I accept it. And
instead of like maybe being mad at him.
Yeah. And like resenting him. Like I'm trying not to be mad at him or resent him, because that just wasn't the role he was meant to play. And I think he only had he had kids the first time because he knocked up his girlfriend, but he didn't have to have 4 more afterwards. But I think that's just like his expectation. Like, like people back in the day, it's not so much now, but people back in the day, that's the expectation, right? You like finish school, yes. you get a job, you get married spouse, you get married, and you have kids.
Buy a house.
Yeah, that's the expectation for everybody. And so I think he was just playing into that expectation rather than just really embracing who he is and accepting who he is and just being a bachelor for life.
And like wanting to do like what made him happy instead of just doing what he thought he should do.
Yeah. And that's what I really love about our generation.
I know.
Yeah. Like I can't speak for the other ones, but like the millennials, like there's a lot of negative, but there's also a lot of positive. Yeah. And that's one of the positive things is that we're more about our own happiness and not just fitting into the societal norms and, having a family just because that's the expectation, mm-hmm. but rather having a family because you actually want
to
mm-hmm.
have a family. Totally. Yeah. Totally.
How about you? Do you dwell on the past or the future? Or are you more of a in the present kind of person?
I feel like I used to never the future because we don't know what's going to happen in the future and we literally have no control over it. So, whatever. But the past, like a lot, not so much today, but so like, I feel like in the last year, I have become not a completely different person.
Yeah.
But I have grown a lot. And I think, there's a lot that plays into that.
Yeah.
Going through a divorce, finding out that my husband was, had a girlfriend or whatever was going on there, talking to other girls or, doing whatever he was doing and getting a divorce and then like having a complete and total, very public, psychotic mental episode breakdown, being hospitalized, being diagnosed bipolar, and then finally getting on the right medications. Mm-hmm. So all of that happened in September 2020.
Yeah, that was all really fast.
Yeah, so a year ago.
Yeah.
And like in this last year, I've been put on some pretty like strong medications, and I think that has changed a lot in me. Mm-hmm. And it's just made me, I feel like a more level-headed person, and like my mood is more balanced now because I'm like literally on mood stabilizers and antidepressants. So like, I definitely don't cry as much as I used to. And like, I don't get upset as much as I used to. I don't get as angry as much as I used to. And I'm definitely like think of others more, and I'm more empathetic and sympathetic to other people. Instead of being so self-centered and just thinking that everything revolves around me and like, like why me, like poor me type of thing.
Yeah.
So going through all of that, and then like, as soon as I got out of the hospital, I got into, like, this really, really bad, toxic, abusive relationship with a felon.
That was fun.
Good times. And then, like, he was really the true test over my husband of, like, what I deserve.
Yeah.
In a partnership and in a relationship. Like, he was the lesson. The biggest lesson. And, you know, like, so as far as dwelling on the past today in this moment, no, I don't dwell on the past anymore because that shit happened. Nothing I can do to take it back. Only thing I can do is learn from it and, like, move forward with life. And my friend told me this one thing one time, and it's always stuck with me. She said, it's okay to look back at the past, but it's not okay to stare.
Oh.
And I just love that because it's like...
Because you can't do anything about it.
Like, I have a box of, like, nostalgic shit from, like, my childhood, like, birthday cards. And, like, a few years ago, like, Bailey, like, 3 years ago, I would go through that box all the time.
Oh, really?
Like, at least once or twice a month. And just look at, like, all this stuff and all the pictures and everything and just be like, God, like, why can't I just go back to this time?
Yeah.
And I haven't looked in that box in a really long time. And it's not because I don't care about that stuff. Like, it's definitely, like, now, if I were to go through it today, it would just be, like, more fun. Like, you know what I mean? More celebratory instead of, like, being upset that, like,
That's done and it's over.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get that. Yeah, I definitely know people who they're kind of just stuck in the past. Like,
me too. It's
like
so sad.
Yeah, like all they do is talk about the past, or like
yes,
all they do, and it's like, well, how about now? You know, like what's happening now that you can't talk about or you don't want to talk about, or like, and I really feel for those people because they're kind of just stuck in this nostalgic bubble and they can't, like, get out of it.
Maybe that's a response to trauma.
Yeah. Like, they want to remember the good old days and stay there. I don't know. Yeah. I think that would take up, like, all your fucks if you're just, like, constantly stuck in the past and want to go back there and always talk about it. And I don't know.
Like being upset that things aren't
the way they used to be.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I have I have this app that I downloaded.
There's an app for that.
App for everything. What's this called? Oh, Presently. Have you heard about that?
No. Tell me more.
Okay, so there's an app called Presently, and it's like, so every day you can set a reminder. And so for mine, I think it's like so it's a nice app. So you can set a reminder. So every day at 9:00, so like right before I get ready for bed, it reminds me to write something down that I was grateful for that day.
Love that.
Yeah. And at first I was like, this is so corny. Like, why would I do this? Whatever. And then like someone on YouTube, like, just talked about, like, it sounds really small and might sound dumb, but they were like, just try it. And I've been doing it like every single night. And it's really nice because you reflect back on that day.
Yeah.
And think about, like, even if it's the tiniest thing, like something that you're grateful for that day, and something that's, you know, positive that day, even if you had a really bad day.
Love that.
Yeah. And it's just been really nice because it makes you appreciate the present time. And, like, makes you, like, be in the present and be happy in the moment. Present. Yeah.
And what a way to reserve your emotional energy.
Yeah.
Is not dwelling in the past and not obsessing over the future. And in these strange and unusual COVID times, I feel like the collective is so obsessed with the future. What's going to happen?
Because they're just so over it. Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of fear and it's just, sad. For sure. Just to see, like, the masses, like, so stressed out over, like, what could possibly happen in the future.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely trying times right now.
Strange and unusual COVID
Oh my
times.
God. It's so draining.
Yeah. Talk about, like, yes. Like, just living, not to be, like, dramatic or anything, but just living in this society today is draining.
Yeah.
Like, especially, like, financially. Like, the cost of living is, like...
bonkers.
In respect to wages and income.
Mm-hmm.
Like...
Well, I mean,
insane.
especially, I don't know how it is in other states, but California, oh my God.
Fucking ridiculous, dude.
Gas
and
is
it's
like,
literally on fire.
Yeah.
There's no fucking water.
Yeah. And Brandon, so he has a truck, right? And so it's like, obviously going to take up a lot of gas because it's a truck.
Yeah.
But he spent like $105 to fill up that tank.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That's fucking
And
insane.
I think he has to fill it because, you know, he drives all over.
Yes.
For
he
different
drives
houses.
a lot.
So I think he's like filling up like more than twice a month, I think. Pretty sure.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And that's a big ass tank too.
Mm-hmm. I'm like, that is so much. And like, people are kind of upset with them too because everything is so much more expensive now. And it's like they can't do anything about it because it has nothing to do with them. It's all about like, you know, the prices of wood just like skyrocketing.
Yeah, I heard wood is like really fucking expensive or something for some weird reason.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, maybe because like all the trees are being burned down by natural fire and like...
I don't know. I mean, this was happening before the fire, so... Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah.
And like when the pandemic started, like even the N95 mask, because they do have to wear that, because, you know, they're breathing in fumes and dust.
Insulation.
And, yeah. And so they need it. But then people were just going crazy and buying all the N95 masks. And so they were kind of left with nothing. And there's nothing really that you can use. Like cloth masks obviously don't work. You know, you can't really use a respirator all the time. That's just like
not conducive.
It's just, yeah, it's just not feasible. And
totally.
It's insane. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm sure it's not as bad as the Great Depression, but it's pretty bad. I think the thing that makes nowadays the worst, though, is just the internet and like media and like fear mongering and like everyone just attacking each other and like all these negative posts. Like, it's draining when you're like, if you go on social media on like a daily basis and all you see is just people being like really hateful and mean to each other.
Yeah.
That's like social media takes a lot of people's fuck bucks. That's why I love that you can hide people or like mute people.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So if like someone's being way too negative, I just mute them so I don't have to look at them again.
That's why I only go on TikTok because it's funny.
Yeah.
And it teaches us about emotional energy. And fuck bucks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I deleted my Facebook. I mean, I have Instagram, but I have a
Finsta.
Yeah. Oh, you do?
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Okay.
There's no, like, I don't even have a profile picture.
Yeah.
It's just like...
just to scroll through stuff.
Yeah, and to like look things up and...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I follow a lot of like arts and crafts pages. And yeah, mostly like art stuff. I don't really care about all the other stuff.
Yeah. Same for me, but on TikTok.
Yeah.
Tic-tac.
So what was the other thing?
Okay, so taking things personally, dwelling on the past and the future. Living up to other people's expectations, but not your own.
I don't really think I do that anymore.
Like, I don't think I've ever done that. Like
maybe when I was younger, like my parents' expectations.
Mm-hmm.
But after I moved out.
And you moved out young, too.
Yeah, I was like after high school.
Yes.
And after that, I kind of just, I don't know. I think I just stopped caring about other people's expectations. I think because living in such a strict household,
mm-hmm.
Like very religious and strict household, the moment I got that freedom, like just bliss. And I just
chef's kiss.
Yeah. So I think I stopped caring at a pretty young age.
My parents didn't have any expectations for me. They never put rules on me.
Yeah.
They never even really cared, like, what I was doing in school, and, like, but I was always just naturally, like, a very driven person, and, like, I always got good grades, and, like, I always wanted to be the best. You know, that was just, so maybe that's why they never felt, like, the need to...
They didn't have to really worry about that aspect of your life.
Like, I was almost, like, raising myself, and, like, they didn't really have to do much. But...
Do you think that's a good or bad thing that they didn't? Bad?
Yeah. Like, well, obviously my dad couldn't be involved because he died when I was 10. But, like, my mom, also not her fault, because she's, you know, very, you know, she struggles with mental health, like, a lot.
Yeah.
Like, worse than I do.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not her fault that she couldn't be there for me. But yeah, it's like, yeah, it just... Like, I have a fear of, like, I suffer with abandonment issues, so I just have a tendency to push people away instead of just even letting them come remotely close to me. That's why I have, like, so little friends. Which I'm fine with.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, if I were to be a parent, I would not do what my parents did.
Yeah.
First of all, I wouldn't die. Thanks, Dad. No, just kidding. Just kidding. Love you, Dad. But I feel like if I was a parent, like, I'd be pretty strict. Like,
yeah? You think so?
Yeah. But, like, I'd be very open with my kids. Like, I wouldn't care if, like, my kids cussed. I wouldn't care if, like, they drank and, like, smoked weed. Like,
yeah.
Like if they're older, obviously.
Yeah. Not like 4-year-old with a blunt.
Exactly. But I would want to be, like, really involved in their lives. And, like, I would just, like, this is one thing that my parents did, and that was just unending support.
Yeah.
Never ending. I don't think unending is a word. Never ending support.
Yeah, never ending.
My parents, like, really supported me, and, like, anything I wanted to do, like, they were all in with me. Yeah. And, like, if I didn't want to do it anymore, they were totally like, okay, like, no worries. And, like, that's one thing I really loved, because I think a lot of parents just, like, force their kids to do shit that they straight up don't want to do. And I saw that a lot in dance class.
Oh,
there
really?
were a lot of kids in dance class who clearly didn't want to be there. Mm-hmm. And they weren't having fun. And it's like, what's the point of doing anything if you're not having fun? Like, that is my life fucking motto. If it's not fun, I'm literally not going to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good, I don't know. Because Brand and I have talked about it, and I think we would make really good parents. I think from what we've learned through our childhood and all that, which is probably what, you know, you're thinking too, is like, I think I know what I would do as a parent. Like, I think I don't think I'd be super strict. Like, I'll be, like, kind of strict, just because I've seen parents who aren't super strict, and their kids are just wild and, like, are disrespectful. Like, I still want that level of Filipino strictness, but maybe without, like, the Catholicism and, like, the religion and the church, you know? Yeah. Because that's a different kind of strictness. Yeah. But I would still want my kids to be respectful and treat people with kindness and whatever. But I wouldn't be, like, on them constantly and, like, a helicopter parent, or, like, not letting them do, like, anything. Like, I literally couldn't sleep over at a friend's house. Like, my friend had the slumber party once, and we lived in a small town in, like, Monterey County, and their house, we would just walk to each other's houses. That's, like, how close everybody lived. Yeah. And, like, how small the town was. But my parents were so strict, I wasn't allowed to sleep over. But I went there to the party. My parents picked me up at 10 or 11 or something that night. And I slept in my own bed. And then they dropped me off in the morning to finish the slumber party.
How bizarre.
Yeah. And it was literally down the street. So if something happened, my parents could literally just run to the house, you know? But that's just how strict they were. My first slumber party, I was 18. It was grad night. You didn't go to grad night, huh?
No.
So that was my first sleepover, was grad night, and I slept over at Tatum's place.
Aww.
Yeah. And I was 18. And it was like June also, because we graduated in June. So it wasn't even like at my 18th birthday. It was like 6 months later.
Oh my God.
So I wouldn't be like that strict.
Yeah, no.
You know? But I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, so living up to other people's expectations, don't care about that.
Yeah.
Not really
I just
like
don't do it anymore.
relevant to either one of us.
No. And I think that's kind of a little level of narcissism, because I'm fine the way I am.
Exactly. Yes. Like, other people's expectations don't mean shit. Yeah. It's about my expectations that I have for myself and the level of standard that I hold myself to. And I think that is like well enough. Yeah. Good enough, you know? Like, yeah. Yeah.
And I think that just comes with age too.
Totally.
It's like, why am I trying to please this person? If they don't like me, they could find another friend.
Exactly.
You know? And I'm not like super, like family to me is important, but family to me isn't blood. You know? They could be blood, obviously, but family is like, you choose your family.
That's
like,
exactly how I feel too. Like, you are more of a sister to me than my actual sister is.
I feel the same way about you. But I also haven't spoken to my sister in like 10 years.
So not really like, you know, not much to live up to there.
Yeah. Like the last time I saw my sister was at my dad's funeral.
Yes, I remember that.
And what did she say to me? She said like, God bless you or something. Or no, it was my brother's funeral. She was like, I think she said like, God bless you. And then I was like, And then that was it. I'm like, I didn't know what to say to that.
Not even a word, just a sound.
Yeah. Because what am I supposed to say to that? What does that mean? Because the way she said it, she's like, God bless you. And I'm like, okay,
you're like,
you too.
You're like, you're mentally ill.
Oh, I don't know.
You need medication.
Yeah, so clearly you're closer to me than my sister. I don't even know where she lives, but I know she's here somewhere.
In California.
In Sacramento somewhere. But I just don't know where. She's here somewhere. Let's hope she doesn't listen to this. Yeah, so people's expectations.
Don't care.
Yeah.
Okay, so what were the other things? So there's 5. So expectations. Should we just listen to the TikTok? I'm kind of like sick of trying to figure this out. Okay, here we go.
Habits are draining your emotional energy. Number 1, overthinking about other people's opinions. Number 2, taking things personally.
Okay, we did that
Number 3, expecting people to change.
Oh, okay. We'll talk about that.
Number 4, dwelling in the past or in the future.
Touched on that one.
Number 5, trying to live up to everyone else's expectations.
Okay. So the last one is just expecting people to change.
Did we talk about number 1 though? Overthinking about other people's opinions? Yes, we did.
Feel like,
we already talked about that. Taking things too personally, expecting no change. Okay.
Expecting people to change.
Oh man, this is a big one for me.
Is it? Well, you go then, because I'm trying to think of an example.
So obviously, the first thing that comes to mind is my ex-husband. And just him, in my opinion. I mean, this isn't even an opinion. I don't give a fuck. It's fact. He did not step up or live up to the role of being my partner.
Yeah.
Period. And he very blatantly put his family in front of me, you know, even though he asked me to be part of his family. But so this was things, you know, this is what we talked about a lot in our relationship. Like, I need you to change. Like, I need you to be different. Like, I need you to do better. Like, I need you to be a better husband. And he never did, obviously.
Yeah.
And, you know, definitely, I mean, if anything, it just got worse.
Yeah.
But, like, people aren't going to change.
Yeah.
They're just not going to change.
They
like,
are
you
who
either
they are.
need to, exactly. Like, you either need to accept people for who they are in that moment and love them for who they are, or they're not, you know, or else you're never going to be happy with who they are. And, but, like, at the same time, like, I feel like he just got worse, like, as our, like, relationship and marriage moved forward. Yeah. And, like, because we never really had any problems before we got married.
Yeah.
And then when we got married, everything went to shit.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a weird, like, it's kind of like an anomaly.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, just expecting people to change, like, people aren't going to change. People are capable of changing. I do think people are capable of changing. Mm-hmm. And, like, I can say that for myself, that I've changed a lot.
Yeah.
But never expect that of people.
Yeah.
I think expectations in general are just not helpful. Like, I strive like, not to put myself on a pedestal or anything, but, like, I strive every day to live without expectations.
Yeah.
Like, for example, this person said that he was going to come hang out with me tonight. Sure, he said that he wants to and that he's going to, but I'm not expecting him to.
Yeah.
If he does, great. That would make me, like, that would make me happy, and, like, we would have fun. But, like, if he doesn't, like, that's okay too. Because I really don't expect that that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, even with you, like, we planned this and we scheduled it right. But, like, if you texted me this morning, like, and said, hey, like, I just don't feel like it, or I'm not feeling good, or I don't want to, or whatever, like, that's fine. Because, like, I really didn't have that expectation that, like, you know, like, I'm expecting you to be here.
Like, you're not going to dwell on it all day.
Yeah. And
that's good.
So other people, like, are expecting people to change. Like, yeah, people aren't going to change. And if they do, they're going to do it on their own accord, not because you want them to.
Yeah. And that's the only way people can change, is if they want to change.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that's, like, a huge topic of conversation when it comes to addicts.
Yeah.
And alcoholics. It's like, unless you acknowledge it, and if you want to live your life differently and you want to stop doing drugs and drinking, like, then you're going to do that. Like, I think it's really hard, like, when you're so heavily addicted to things, like, you know, I'm not a drug addict and I'm not an alcoholic, so I don't really know, like, I can't speak to that. I've been in relationships with drug addicts and alcoholics, and, never going to change unless they want to. Yeah. And only one of them did truly change. Yeah. But because he almost died, so kind of had to. Oh. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's good that they changed.
Still alive.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I don't know. Expecting people to change. I guess because I've really narrowed down my friend group because I don't expect people to change. And I have the friends that I have because of that, you know? So I don't think I ever really expect people to change. And I have a really low tolerance for people who need to change.
What do you mean?
Like, I guess I just have a low tolerance for people in general.
Yeah.
And
Amen.
so if they don't meet, that kind of sounds narcissistic. Like, if they don't meet a certain criteria, like, if it's, I don't know. Like, I don't ever expect anyone to change for me because they shouldn't. Yeah. No one should change for you. Yeah. Like, in a relationship, if you want someone to be a certain way and you think that, oh, well, you know, we just need to be together longer, or, you know, having a kid will change this person.
God.
I absolutely hate that. When people think that, oh, they're just not grown up yet, or they're just not mature yet, and it's like 35, you know? It's like, honey, I don't think they're going to change anytime soon. And popping out a child is not going to change that person either.
And what's scary is, like, you know, a lot of people like that, huh?
Yeah, people.
And you know what's so fucked up is that they're just thinking about themselves, and they're boyfriend who doesn't want to change and who's immature, they're not even thinking about the person that they're creating, who's going to have to live in this world for 80 fucking years. Yeah. Like, let's not get into kids. We'll just get too heated. We'll piss a lot of people off, and your follower count will go way down. It'll plummet.
But people shouldn't expect people to change in their relationship. Like, if you're not happy with who they are now, then you're probably most likely not going to be happy in this relationship, you know? Especially, like, if you've been in a long-term relationship and the person has yet to change and you're just waiting for that person to change, like, they're not going to change, you know? Maybe if they want to, but...
most likely not.
Yeah, definitely. And you shouldn't have to want that for that person. Yeah. Because it's clear that, like, you're just not meant to be together. Like, if you're expecting someone to change, then maybe you should I don't want to say that to people. But, like...
say it.
But
do it.
But just maybe, like, take a step back and think about, are you guys meant to be together?
Are you guys good for each other?
Yeah.
Do you guys both bring out the positives for you? Like, my major barometer for allowing people to be part of my life is what type of, like, what do they bring out in me? Yeah. What do they bring out in me? And, like if somebody brings out a negative side in me, what are you looking at, duders? If somebody brings out a negative side in me, like, I just don't want to be around that person, and I'll never hang out or see them, or not that I'll never see them again, but, like, I'll never hang out with them again. Yeah. Like, but if somebody brings out a good side of me, then, like, that's somebody I keep around. And I don't know, do you experience that? Like, do certain people bring out certain sides of you? Because I also...
yeah, absolutely.
Like, I struggle with borderline personality disorder too. And, like, so basically what that means is that, like, I have very many different sides to, like, my personality, and it can be kind of unpredictable about, like, who am I going to be for that day? Which sounds, like, really weird and crazy because
I think that's normal, though.
Yeah?
I think people, because everyone brings out a certain type of energy, you know? Like, you know how when you're, like, with Casey, it's always very, like,
high
energy, like, you're, like, ready to tackle the day. Yes. But there's some people who just bring you down, and you don't want to, like, do anything, or they just make you upset and, like, negative and irritable. Like, I think that's completely normal.
Oh, good. I'm not alone. Okay, good.
No, there's definitely... that's why I have a low tolerance for people, like, for certain people, because I don't want that. I don't want to be around someone who's just going to bring me down.
And it's going to, like, bring out the worst sides of your personality.
And it's okay, like, every once in a while if that person's just having a bad day and you just want to be there for that person. But if that's the constant and that every time you see that person, you just know that's going to happen. Yeah. Why bother with that person? Like, why be around that person?
What a waste of emotional energy. Yeah. Don't spend your fuck bucks on somebody like that.
Yeah. But, like, back to the relationship, like, because I know some people who hate their ex because they became a better person afterwards. Like, you know how, like, so you know those people, right? Like, they were together and their boyfriend...
I'm just kidding.
But I mean, like, their boyfriend or spouse, whoever, was, like, a terrible husband and all this bad stuff. But then when they are with this new person, they're all of a sudden a great dad or a great mom or, like, a great partner. And it's like, and they hate them, but because they were expecting them to be that way.
With them. But they weren't.
And so, but instead of being mad at them, you kind of have to, like, think about, like, well, you just weren't the right person for that person.
Exactly.
And that they just needed to find the right person, and that you need to just find the right person that brings that out of you.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so.
And like, man, like, I love Taylor Swift. You know this?
Yeah.
But she's so right when she says it's either going to be forever or it's going to crash and burn.
Yeah.
When it comes to at least, like, romantic relationship, that's really how it is. It's either this is going to be forever or it's going to crash and burn.
Yeah.
And, like, that's such a mind-blowing concept to me. Like, that's like, those are high stakes, you know, which is why, like, the more I think about being single, just the more happy I become. Because, like, I just don't even want to deal with somebody else and, like, the drama.
It's hard. Like,
but then I get lonely. And, you know, sometimes you just need a little TLC.
They really have to be worth it. Like, I don't know if I want to be in a relationship after Brandon, if he, like, you know, gets into some, like, tragic accident, dies. Because it's a lot of work, and that person, whoever that person ends up being, has to be worth it. Because no one is perfect, and the flaws have to be something that you're willing to live with it for the rest of your life, you know? And I don't know, relationships are hard. Yeah. There's a lot of compromise. There's a lot of, like, give and take, and it's not about just you. You have to always take in the other person's perspective and opinions and feelings and stuff, and that's rough to do. Like, I think I'm very fortunate to find Brandon, because we are pretty similar, and the things that make us different, I think, make each other better, not worse, you know? And
just the fact that you guys have grown together in the same direction.
Yeah. Because I've seen people who were together for a long time, but, like, are on different levels or different phases of their life, and that's what tore them apart. But we were able to, like, grow up together.
Yes, exactly. And that's, like, what makes your relationship so great. Yeah.
And that's really rare to find. And I don't know if I can ever find that again. That's why I'm just like, I'll just be like a crazy dog lady after Brandon, if that ever happens, or, you know, it's too much work. And then I don't know if I can trust another person, because you know, Brandon can't be some secret double agent, because I've known him since he was, like, 15, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't, to, like, have to relearn or have to change my life for another person, that's hard.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Too much.
Yeah. Too much.
Too much.
That's it.
Too much output, not enough input.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're dishing out more than what you're getting back.
Exactly.
Yeah. As a single person, this conversation makes me extremely depressed.
Sorry.
Single by choice. Single by choice. I broke up with my last 2 boyfriends, and I divorced my husband, so definitely single by choice. Yeah. Which I'm fine with.
Yeah. Because you know what you want. And I don't think anyone should settle for less than what they deserve.
No, that's a complete waste of life. And like it's such a generational thing too with millennials. It's like, we're not going to settle for a life that does not make us happy. And when we look at people who are older than us, people in their 50s and their 60s, almost every single person I know who is in their 50s and their 60s is not happy with how their life is. And, like, either their husband is a deadbeat and, like, doesn't do anything to help with the house or the kids, or, you know, like, one of them is cheating, or, like, you know, like, or, you know, people are just so set in their ways. But millennials and Gen Zers are just very open-minded, I think,
I think they care about their happiness more nowadays.
Yeah.
Because...
and that's just going to lead to a better quality of life. Like, how could you not want that?
Like, I think that's why religion's kind of, like, going down the drain a little bit, you know? Because, like, especially, like, the Catholic Church, for example, I don't know, like, I can't speak for other religions, but, like, divorce isn't a thing, you know? Like, once you're married, you're tied by the word of God, and you can't, like, you're not supposed to get a divorce, and it's like, even if you're really unhappy with that person, if you're, like, a devout Catholic or whatever religion you are, like, you're just going to stick through it because that's your belief.
And you don't want to go to hell or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
So, like, your husband can beat you. You know, your husband can cheat on you. Your wife can cheat on you. we're going to stay married because that's what God wants.
You're bounded by.
I've never been into religion ever. Like, it, like, literally, like, it just, I mean, well, not that I'm not into, like, organized religion. I definitely believe in a higher power, and I definitely believe, like, I pray all the time, and, like, you know, like, I say aloud, like, what I'm grateful for, and, like, and, you know, like, I definitely have a relationship with God.
Yeah.
Or this higher power that's like...
a God. Some God.
That's like guiding me through, right? Mm-hmm. Like, when I was going through like my whole mental psychotic breakdown, because that literally lasted from like a long time. Mm-hmm. I want to say like most of 2020, I was kind of like in that mode.
Yeah.
And I just remember like repeating obsessively, God, give me strength and guidance. Give me strength and guidance. Give me strength and guidance. And, like, I really feel that way. Like, I'm strong now, and I have, like, a direction that my life is going. Mm-hmm. And, like, I'm very happy, and I love the way my life is right now.
Yeah.
And, like I feel like I got those things, right? When I didn't have them before.
Yeah.
So... you know, take that for what it is. But, like, yeah, there's just so many hypocrisies in, like, organized religion. And it's just really sad. And, like, especially with, like, you know, the discrimination against people of color and, like, gay people and or transgender people. Like, it's just awful.
Yeah. And I think a lot of churches are kind of getting out of that.
Totally.
But
are they doing it? My question is, are they doing that out of sincerity, or are they doing that because they notice that, like, the belief in organized religion and the participation in organized religion is decreasing?
That's a good point. Yeah. I think it's also because it's just a younger generation coming into the church and changing things. And so I think it is kind of in a way, but regardless of them accepting other people that are like in their normal cohort, I think another problem with organized religion or just religion in general is that your happiness comes second, you know, because it's all about like following the rules and making sure that, you know, you follow whatever your church's rules are. And so even like with the whole divorce thing, even if you're unhappy, you don't get a divorce because that's not in your belief system. And, some churches like don't even recognize you as a church member if you get a divorce. Yeah. Like there's this, so the church I used to be a part of, there's this couple and they have like kids and everything. But they're separated. They don't even live in the same house or anything, but they never officially got a formal divorce because it's against that church. And so, like, even if they have the opportunity to find their one true love or whatever and really be in a happy relationship, like, the word of the Bible, the rules of the Bible trumps that, you know? So that's why I'm saying, like, your happiness comes second to the Bible or whatever you decide to, like, you know, whatever your church reads or whatever, or follows.
Okay, so you might want to edit this out, but whatever. I'm going to tell you because it's hella funny.
Okay.
So I saw this TikTok and it said, what is one thing that's not in the Bible but everybody thinks is in the Bible?
Oh, okay.
White people.
Oh, I guess that's true, huh? Because everything was in the Middle East. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
I kind of want to do an episode on, like, religion. Because I know, like, at the beginning of my podcast, I was like, I'm not going to talk about anything controversial, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, but that's what makes it good.
I know. And I was talking to Brandon the other day, I think it was yesterday, actually, that, like, because there's a lot of things I don't post on social media. Like, I don't post my opinions or share my opinions on anything or, like, because I do differ a lot from the people that's around me and whatever.
I can relate hard to that.
But at the same time, like, I'm so tired of walking around eggshells and like not being truly me and being allowed to express myself. And it's like, what's the point of this podcast if I'm not going to express my true opinions?
If you're going to
like,
censor yourself.
Yeah. And I'm anti-censorship.
Amen, baby.
Yeah. Like the censorship that's going on in this country is insane.
Yes.
Insane. So
terrifying,
I don't know. Yeah.
If you think about it.
Like I do kind of want to do an episode. Like I just don't have any friends who grew up in the church.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like my current friends and who left the church.
What about Courtney?
I haven't even talked to her in a long time.
I bet you should be down to have a conversation with you.
Isn't she still part of the church though?
No.
Oh, she's not?
I don't think so. And if she is a part of the church, it's be in a different way than when she was growing up.
I'm just going to hit her up and be like, hey, so I have this podcast now.
Yeah. That's what like having a podcast is. It's like, you can talk about all these different things and like you bring in like people who know about the topic that you're discussing and like who can weigh in and like and reconnecting with old people and like or not old people but like people from your past. No disrespect to our elders, love you.
I just would like to get a perspective from someone else who left their church because there's definitely a lot of positives growing up in the church. Like I did learn a lot of like how to be respectful and kind and how to be humble. And like, there's a lot of good things like morale wise that you are taught in the church.
Yeah.
But there's also obviously a lot of negative too, which I mean, obviously because I left, you know, if it wasn't negative, I wouldn't have left.
You should try to find somebody to get on the podcast who was part of the Mormon church and left.
I don't know anything about Mormons other than they have like Mormon underwear. I don't know if that's true.
Their sacred clothing.
Yeah.
Okay. So fun story. So my mom, she's just crazy, but like funny.
Okay.
Like fun crazy.
Yeah.
She likes to self-medicate with wine. That's okay. She won't ever listen to this. It's okay. But, love you, Mom. So my mom's brother, my uncle, married a woman who was Mormon.
Yeah.
She is Mormon. And so then he, you know, joined that faith, I believe, and like they raised their kids in the faith and like all that good stuff. And so my aunt used to wear sacred clothing under all of her clothes. And my mom would literally like pull up her shirt and like pull down her shirt like in front of her boobs and be like, let me see your sacred clothing.
Oh my God.
And my aunt would be like, Kelly, stop. So yeah, that just made me think of that.
Oh my God. Your mom.
I know. God love her.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I don't know anyone from the Mormon church, and I don't really know other than like John Smith. Wasn't he the one that...
Who?
Isn't he the
From
one
Pocahontas?
Oh, maybe it's the wrong name. Isn't the creator or like the founder of the Mormon church name is John Smith?
Jedediah Smith? Is that his name?
I don't know.
No, it's not. Okay, now I gotta Google it. Who's the founder of the Mormon church?
I thought it was John Smith, or is that too basic of a name?
No, it's a very like founder of Mormonism. Joseph Smith. Wow,
Smith.
You were close.
I knew it was some like basic name.
Oh, see, I was thinking of Brigham Young.
Who's that?
Brigham Young was an American religious leader, politician, and colonizer. He was the second president of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, so the Mormon Church.
Yeah.
Oh, so he was the second president. I guess the first president is Joseph.
They have a president? It's
Smith.
like the Pope?
Yeah.
Okay.
The founder is Joseph Smith. Okay.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. I mean, if anyone that's Mormon wants to, I mean, I doubt I have Mormon listeners.
Hey, you never know.
That's true. I don't know who listens
Former
to my podcast.
members of the Mormon Church.
Oh yeah, former members. I guess that's more like my crowd. You know, former church members of anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be really interesting.
Yeah.
I don't think that you should shy away from topics that are controversial.
Yeah.
Because...
And it's a good conversation.
And that plays into other people's opinions.
Yeah.
Who fucking cares if they don't like what you're saying? If they don't like what you're talking about, then they don't have to listen to it.
Exactly. And
it's not like this podcast is your job where you're like getting sponsorships. I mean, that's definitely would be great, right?
Yeah.
But like there are people who do podcasting as like that's their source of income.
Yeah. Yeah. And if I get canceled, I mean,
you're still going to keep doing it.
I'm still going to cares? It doesn't matter. You just stop listening. And plus, like, unlike other people, I would have an open mind. You know? Like, I wouldn't be disrespectful or rude to someone who has a differing opinion.
Exactly.
Because I freaking hate that about some podcasts. Like, I stopped listening to some podcasts because of that.
Yeah.
Because they're just so rude. They're not even willing to listen or be open. Like, they claim to be open-minded, but they don't even want to listen to the opposing side.
And it's like, why are you even having this person on your podcast if you don't want to try and understand like where they're coming from, or at least hear them out on like what they have to say? And
you're just going to attack them.
How bizarre.
Right?
I don't listen to very many podcasts though, so I've not experienced that myself. But
there's like some podcasts I can't listen to anymore because it's like they're not even willing to listen. They're just there to trick them to get on, and they think you're gonna listen, but really they're just there to attack you,
to like force their beliefs and opinions on them.
Because at the end of the day, it's a belief.
Totally.
It's not fact. It's just what you think is best for whatever for you.
Yeah.
But no one truly knows what's best for the world.
No.
Yeah. Like with all this political stuff, everyone, it's a belief, a political belief. That's why it's called a political belief. No one truly knows except for like the higher power and what's really good or what's best for the country.
I mean, people barely know what is best for themselves.
Exactly.
People barely know what is best for their family, let alone the entire
country. Like what are we, like 330 million people or something like that?
Oh my God. Fun fact. Did you know that there are more people in the state of California than there are in the entire country of Canada?
Yeah.
Isn't that mind-blowing?
California is huge.
Yeah.
California has like, I don't know what it is now, but it was once like the third largest economy in the world.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's still true or not. But
like the state of California is larger than like
the East Coast.
Almost the entirety of Europe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I saw a TikTok where like this guy.
They like do they do the overlap? Yeah. I saw that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And also, here's another fun fact is that I think I've talked to you about this before, but a large majority of Canada's population lives south of the U.S. border.
Yeah.
Because, like, if you think about Michigan, right, and the Great Lakes, and then, like, Buffalo, New York, and you have that dip, like, where Toronto is, like, most of Canada's population is in that area, and that area is, like, south.
Yeah. That's because the rest of Canada is inhabitable. Like, it's just snow.
It's a frozen tundra.
Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, California could be its own country, honestly. There's so many people here. It's about to
get, like, split up into 2 countries. Or 2 states.
If that happens, people have been trying to do that for so long. Yeah.
Ever since I can remember, that's been a thing.
It makes sense because California owns all the electoral votes. We probably should split it up.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like whatever California wants, that's what's going to happen.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't know.
So fucking crazy.
It is crazy. California is huge. It's too big for its own good.
Yeah. There are a lot of people here.
Yeah.
And like, I've totally noticed, like, in the last 5 years, Sacramento is just, like...
Yeah, because Sacramento used to be nice. Because it's a city.
It used to be homey.
Well, because, like, it's a city, right? Yeah. It's a metropolitan city.
It's a capital.
Yeah. But it's not nearly as big as San Francisco. Mm-hmm. And I remember, like, traffic used to be not that bad. Here, but now it's, like, insane.
It's, like, like... I was just, like, trying to fucking, like, get to work the other morning. I'm like, I feel like I'm in fucking LA right now. Like, this is insane. Mm-hmm. This is insane. Like, yeah, just a lot of people want to be here.
And when are they going to stop working on 50?
Never. Short answer, never. Anybody from Sacramento can relate to, like, what we're talking about.
It's this freeway is just never gonna finish.
Like, I get irrationally angry thinking about 50 and just how unkept it is.
Yeah, and how terrible it is.
Yeah.
It's so terrible.
It's bad.
Like, when it rains, I just know there's a car accident.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Don't even try to go on the freeway when it rains. Just use back roads.
And people here really are bad drivers.
Yeah, we're considered, like, the worst city in California for
driving
accidents. Yeah, car accidents. Something to be proud of.
It's weird because, like, I am a bad driver, but, like, I'm not. Because I don't get in accidents, and, like, that's the only thing that makes me, like, not a bad driver.
I think people are just, I don't know. There's a lot of road rage. And everyone...
I was just about to say, I'm a very aggressive driver.
Everyone's just always in a hurry, I think. You know?
Yeah, totally. Like, it's definitely, like, a cultural thing here. Because I have heard that in other places of the U.S., like, in the South or, like in the Midwest, like, nobody's in a hurry.
Yeah.
Like, nobody is in a hurry. Like, in Florida, no one is in a hurry to get anywhere.
Yeah. Like, if you are going the speed limit, you're going too slow.
Oh, here? Yeah, for sure.
And people get angry if you're going 65.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. I'm definitely one of those people. So I am contributing to the problem, but am I going to change? No. No. Because if you're not driving at least 10 miles over the speed limit, like, get the fuck out of my way.
Yeah. Don't go in the fast lane either.
Oh my God.
I can't.
What really gets my goat is when there's two lanes. There's only two lanes, which are most roads here in Sacramento. Yeah. And there's two people and they're both going the same fucking speed. Or one's just going a little bit faster than the other one. And I'm like, what is happening right now?
Yeah.
Like, do you realize, like, what you're causing? Like, do you realize the mental turmoil that you are doing to people by doing this? Like,
yeah.
And what's more fucked up is, like, people don't even realize that they're doing that.
And people, I mean, I don't think this is special to Sacramento, but, like, people get real angry on the road. Like, one time, I think Brandon, I don't know if he, like, accidentally cut someone off or whatever happened. Like, I wasn't there.
Yeah.
But there was no accident, right?
Yeah.
No accident, just maybe he cut, because Brandon, you know, drives a truck and they have blind spots or whatever.
Right.
And this guy, he was so angry that he stopped at the light, right? You know, they stopped at a red light.
Yeah.
And he got out of his car. And he was, like, legit about to fight Brandon. And Brandon's like, we didn't even get in a car accident. Like, I literally didn't even do anything to him. But he was just so angry. He was so ready to fight. But luckily, a cop car came up, so he just went back into his car.
Oh
but
my
can you
God.
imagine, like, what's going to happen? And, like, also, Brandon's strong, and he's got tools in his truck. Like,
and he's tall.
He's at, like, hands, you know, arm's length to a hammer or a drill or, like, something, you know?
Something
like,
that could be used as a weapon.
Don't mess with a construction worker. They'll probably beat you.
Yes.
Oh. So
oh my God.
People, they're just so angry. And why
is that?
Why even get out of your car? Why
are people so angry?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't think
it's because they're unhappy with their life because they have really given into these societal, you graduate from high school, you go to college, you get a degree, you get a job, you find a wife, you buy a house, you have kids.
I don't know. It's definitely personal. Like, there's something going on and you're channeling that energy, like, to unnecessary things.
Yeah.
As in getting out of your car and trying to start a fight at a red light.
Dude. One thing I heard that's just always stuck with me is anger is a secondary emotion. So if you're angry, there's probably
some underlying reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's definitely, that guy definitely had something else going on. He must have a bad day or something.
Or a drug addiction.
Oh yeah, that too.
I always chalk it up to drugs. When people be acting a fool, I'm like, that person's on drugs. There's no other explanation.
I mean, they could be. That's totally plausible.
I mean, we are like fucking the meth capital of this U.S.
Yeah. Like,
everybody does meth in California. Well, I mean, that's a bit of a generalization, but...
No, I mean, like, in high school, there was a bunch of coke dealers. You know, just go down the street.
That blows my mind.
Yeah.
Like, we were in high school. Mm-hmm. I never did it.
Well, all the ones that I know are they either die because they OD'd over their own supply or they're in jail.
Exactly. Like,
so, dodge the bullet.
Oh, my God.
It's crazy. Yeah. There's drugs are everywhere.
So, anyways... So, to summarize, to sum it up, emotional energy. Don't give your fuck bucks away to things that don't matter.
Yeah.
And
it's finite.
Yeah. Like, it's so trivial to get upset over X, Y, or Z.
Yeah.
Like, if it's not going to matter in 5 minutes, don't. Mm-hmm. If it's not going to matter in 5 years, don't. If it's not going to matter in 5 months, don't. You know what I mean? Like, just, like, let it go. Like, easier said than done for sure.
Yeah. You know? But, like, your life is limited. Your emotions are limited. Like, you could die tomorrow. Yeah. Is that how you want to spend your life?
Like,
we're recording this right now. It's 9/11. Like, those people didn't even know that was going to be their last day.
They just went to work.
Yeah. It was just another regular day. So, like, yeah, save your fuck bucks and don't dwell on, like, stupid things. Don't get out of your car to start a fight.
Unless you really do want today to be your last day.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, my God.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
For having me. And this has been wonderful.
Yeah. I'm hungry now.
Yeah, me too. What are we going to get for lunch?
I don't know. But thanks for getting on the podcast. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much for listening. If you enjoy what you hear and want to stay up to date on the show, please follow me on Facebook and or on Instagram. You can also check out my website at thetalkativeintrovertpodcast.com. All the information will be on there as well as in the show notes. Please help support the show by sharing it with your friends and family. Thanks so much, and I'll talk to you guys in the next episode.